Caswell, and I've been a member here, I believe, for over 20 years. I work at the Walmart in Plano on Spring Creek and Central. I work in the customer self-checkout on the grocery side. It's a very, very busy place. This whole store is very busy. And I started there about 6-7 years ago, just a part-time job as a cashier. Eventually made my way to self-checkout. I like it way more than cashiering on a register. And they see me in the same place every time they come. And so I'm on first name basis with a lot of my customers. They've become friends. I've had a lot of jobs, but this is the most personally rewarding job I've ever had. And I never thought I'd hear myself say that about Walmart. But the folks that come through and my co-workers make that just a wonderful job. You make an impact on folks. They begin to recognize you. I've been recognized outside of work without the vest. A few years ago, I was walking into a Tom Thumb, and somebody across the street hollered, "Shouldn't you be shopping at Walmart?" Endless opportunities to make people feel good. Just make humor, make them smile, make them laugh as they're leaving the store. You come up to the register, I have to go clear errors on the register. That's the main thing I do. There's been a few that back off, but most folks don't. They stand there. I think part of it might be familiarity with me. I'm not a stranger. I think we feel less intimidated in the circumstances like this by folks we know than strangers. Oh, I'm just grateful that I am there and can help. I'm also grateful that I have some place to go and I can be with folk, not be totally isolated. That's a real blessing. But I feel I was placed there. It wasn't an accident that I ended up in self-checkout, because folks come through and sometimes they need a good laugh. I make humor in there. And a couple of years ago, a woman, and she just laughed out loud. And on her way out, she came up and gave me a hug and said, "Thank you. This has been a horrible day. I desperately needed a good laugh." And 2 weeks later, the same thing again, another woman. Every once in a while, I'll get somebody to say, "Thank you, I needed a good laugh." And it makes me realize that there's probably some folks that don't say anything, but we're in the same situation. And I'm there to help make their evening maybe start a little better than their day is gone. And I think that's why I'm there. I don't feel heroic at all. I'm grateful that I'm there and that I can be there for folks and be with them. I've had multiple occasions where somebody's come up a little short and the customer next to them will hand them a bill and help them finish the payment. I've had older folks or folks in wheelchairs drop something and someone will come up and pick it up and hand it back to them. And just kindness to their neighbors like that. Working in there has become a blessing, and I've realized that there are way more good folks in this world than there are bad apples. Way more. I see that as part of God's work in folks. God's working through folks to help their neighbors. So grateful that I ended up there. And like I said, I don't think it's a mistake.